Go Language Programming, Chapter 9, Unit 4. In this unit, we will cover quadratic complexity of big four, big O notation. So again, we will go over the real life scenario to try to understand the quadratic time for a big O notation. So scenario is, for all of my friends, only one friend knows which friend has my car key. So only, so this one person knows, and that person is the only person who would tell me which other guy has my car key. So the approach, basically, I will start questioning each friend individually and ask him or her about all other friends who might have my car key. So that would be the approach, So I will start questioning each friend individually and ask him or her about all other friends who might have my car key. So if I don't get the answer from the first friend, I will move to the next one and so on. So basically, worst case scenario would be, in worst case, I will have to ask two questions to each friend, you know. So first question would be, do you have my car key? Okay. And if the person says no, then I ask the other question, if you don't have my car key, then who has it? So then basically I'm asking that person, okay, so tell me who has my car key. So let's walk through this quadratic time for a big O notation in example 9 dash 3. Okay. So again, since I want to be able to run my code, so I have this package main, and then import the FMT library or the package, and then have this slice of strings with all the names of the friends, and then have the this function search car key and pass the slice to as a parameter to this function. So within this function, basically, as you can see, that I have the two 4 range loops, and in the first 4, so 2 4 range loops that I'm using, and the reason that I'm using 2 4 range loop is for asking the two questions that I just described a minute ago. So the first 4 range loop, of course, will go through each of these friends, okay, individually, and then make each friend go through the next 4 loops. So we have basically a nested 4 loops right here. Okay. So in that case, basically, and that's why it is called the quadratic time, because we have. So you will find in your code, if you find a nested for loop, it it will be considered as a quadratic time, or big O of n2. Okay. So in this case, I create a variable of type answer initialized to empty. Uh, I mean variable of type string and initialized to empty string, and then each friend individually if they have. So ask each friend individually if they have the car key. So that's why this question is, do you have my car key? So I ask that first person. And if that person says no, you know, if that person says yes, then I'm done right here, you know, and then break out from the loop. And that's it. So I won't even go to this other for loop. So I found my car key. But if this person says no, then of course I would not come in this if and then come to this else part. Okay, and in this else part I ask the same person this other question. If they don't have it, ask about all other friends. So this is the loop, this is the another loop, which is a nested loop. In that loop we will ask about all other friends who might have it, my car key. So, but in this case, this range for range loop is going to be returning index and a value. Okay, so in this case, I'm basically using both. So actually, I don't need to use. Well, actually, I do. Right here, so in the when the loop starts, very first thing I do is to check if value one is equals to value two. So value one would be coming from the first loop. That means this first name, okay. And since I'm working on the same set of data, I don't want to have to ask that same person. Okay, so that's why I'm checking and then having the continue. Okay, so if I have a continue, then I will basically skip that person himself and not to ask that question. Hey, do you have? I already asked him right here. You know, do you have it? So I don't want to ask the same person again. So that's why I skip it. That's what this continue will do, and then it will go to the next person, and then it will come. So the next person would be not the same person as the first one, for example, and then it will come to here and ask this question. Do so it will give this first person's name right here. Okay, so in this case, in the first iteration, the James name will be printed right here. James, you think my car key is with this second person, because I'm in this inner for loop. I'm at the second location, second element of the array. So then it will ask, James, you think my car key is with Jane, So if he says no, then I go back up again and then come and ask. Then I will have the Joe, okay, and then right here this will be still James. James, you think my car key is with Joe? And if James says no, then I go back into this for loop right here, and then this v1 will again be James, you think my car key is with John? So if he says yes, then I will say, oh, okay, your car key is with John, and I print that. So basically, as you can see, if you have in your code a nested for loop that would be considered as a quadratic time. Okay, and big O of n2. Explanation here is given an input n size, the number of steps it takes to accomplish a task is square. Okay, and that's why we are using a square of n, and that is the reason that we are using a nested for loop. Each pass to outer loop, big O of n, requires going through entire list. Okay, so this is this guy right here we are talking about. So it requires the basically entire list to go through the inner loop. Nested for loops are example of a quadratic time. So just remember, whenever you have a nested for loop in your code, that means it would be, most probably, it would be a quadratic time. As we run linear operation within other inner loop. So inner loop is a linear operation. Okay. So basically, that's why we get a quadratic time. So each time the outer loop executes, the inner loop executes n time, right? So, you know, one one time this outer loop comes, and then once it hits the inner loop, then inner loop will have to go through the whole array, so that means it will going through the n, whatever the size of this array is going to be. So therefore, a statement in the nested for loop executes a total of n times n. Okay, that is the reason. So here the complexity is big O of n times n, which is actually equals to n squared. So this should be avoided as this complexity grows in quadratic time. So you try to avoid this whenever possible, unnecessarily, having the for loops, and improve your basically algorithms. So that would be the way you should be, writing your code. Okay. So that concludes Unit 4, Chapter 9.